Hello everybody, Chad from Dirt Road Reset. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. I'm sure if you're a follower or a subscriber on any of my social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, you've seen the most recent reel that I uploaded about being forced to leave early from the campsite this last weekend. I want to give a follow-up video on that because I had no idea the traction that video would gain. It's been, quite honestly, overwhelming. It's been viral and on TikTok and Instagram. I imagine it probably will be on YouTube also, but I want to just give be given an opportunity to explain a little bit more in depth as to what happened, where my mindset was, and just put that chapter behind me. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody that commented and shared and was respectful and civilized in their feedback and or their comments. It's been about 50-50, and quite honestly, I've stopped reading them just because it's overwhelming. I had to turn my notifications off yesterday. I don't want to turn comments off. I'm not a big proponent of that. So you can keep commenting, but I can't guarantee that I will see it, just because looking at some of them has been pretty heartbreaking and just overall frustrated. So if you left a comment and it was civilized and respectful, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for sharing it. And, it never fails that, despite asking people to do such, that people are going to come out of the woodworks and accuse me of being racist, accuse me of being a bigot, accuse me of being a bad father. I mean, you name it. I've seen it all in those comments. And I hope and pray to my Creator that the life I've lived thus far, especially recently, shows that is definitely not me. In fact, it's the farthest thing from the truth when it comes to my character and my personality. I hope it shines through in the previous videos that I've shared as well. The intent last weekend was to do a full form video for YouTube at a lakeside camp spot that we had discovered on some maps. We got out there, and the journey started pretty late on Friday. It took us over an hour on at least an 8-mile long dirt trail that requires pretty extreme four-wheel driving skills and a vehicle that has high clearance and pretty extensive four-wheel drive capabilities. If you don't have either one of those, there's no way you're getting back there unless you're on a boat and you come in on the water side. Usually 9 times out of 10 when we go to spots like that, and that's usually what we do, that deters a lot of people in the riffraff from bothering us. We like to camp where it's peaceful and we don't mind other people. Not at all. As long as you're respectful, especially when I have Liam, then there's no problem. And in this situation, we got out there and we had the place pretty much to ourselves. It was a rather long public area. It's not a campsite. It's not a campground. I shouldn't say it is a campsite, but it's not a campground. It's not a designated campground. It's on national forest land. Anybody can go there. Even the people that wound up forcing me to leave. They had every right to be there as I did. And my mind is saying a million different things right now. So pardon me if I jump and skip around. If Liam had not been with me, my 8-year-old son, I think things would have been a little bit different. I would have probably maybe even stayed the original 2 nights. Second, I would have been more assertive in asking them to move or to turn their music down or to stop lighting off fireworks. But in my experience, when people are heavily intoxicated, as all of them were, I had my kid with me. I just didn't want to escalate the situation. I just wanted to take the high road and just get out. And that's essentially why I did it. They set up, there was at least 30 of them. You can't really tell in the video. And they literally went right up to our tent and started setting up their camp and blaring their music so loud. The language was awful. The driving of their UTVs, and this is nothing against UTV drivers. There's good ones and bad ones, just like there's good campers and bad campers. But it was just dangerous. It was reckless, and it was not an environment conducive to me feeling comfortable with my child. And I didn't want to escalate the situation between the drinking, the driving, the language, the music, the fireworks. It was only going to get worse. It was a Saturday night. It was about to be a Saturday night. And I did ask them if they were staying, and they said yes. So I made the decision to leave. And that was it. They were, they didn't say anything as I was leaving. That's fine. I didn't give them the bird as I was leaving. And I have to reiterate the fact again that, guys, like, it has nothing to do with demographics or the color of their skin or their ethnicity, nothing. If anybody had done the exact same thing, and I mean this truthfully and from the bottom of my heart, if anybody had done the exact same thing and blared music, yes, even if it was Waylon Jennings, I would have asked them to politely, be respectful. These people set up, I said in the reel that they set up 30 feet from my tent door. I think it was more like 10. I mean, it was crazy. One of their kids walked right into my tent at one point. A kid that I didn't even know, had never seen before, just walked right into our tent and looked around and then left, and it was bad. The other thing too that I was noticing that I just drives me nuts, and it's kind of indicative of these large groups that go out there that don't have respect for other people. They also don't have respect for the land. And I'm not going to go into too much detail with this, but suffice to say, when they pick up and leave, they leave all of their trash. Beer cans, diapers, feminine products, adult diapers, toilet paper, you name it. If anybody wants to, anybody close to me, or where this was at, you can attest this. The place was a mess. It was destroyed by all of those things that I just mentioned. And I witnessed it. I witnessed these people doing that. They would take a beer can and just throw it on the ground. I'd witness them go off in the bushes with a roll of toilet paper and no trash bag when they returned. And you'd go back and it's just littered with this stuff. So it was just an all-around bad situation. So I decided to leave. I didn't get any video. I wanted to get video of the drive going in there because it was crazy. And that's the thing, when you have a UTV like that, those are highly capable four-wheel drive vehicles. Those can get places that a lot of well-equipped four-wheel drive trucks can't get to. So it was no problem for them. In fact, they probably got there half as quick as I did. So I hope it doesn't happen again anytime soon, but it's just the way things have become when you camp out in these beautiful spots. More and more that I'm noticing is that people find it, and I can't expect people to be as respectful as I am, or even respect the land as much as I do. I might go back out next weekend, honestly, just to pick up trash. I wish I had had a rake with me and a bunch of big industrial construction site bags, because I would have loved to have gone out there and picked up the trash. We picked up ours, but my main concern at that moment was just getting out of there before things got even more out of hand. And I'm fairly confident in saying they probably did, but they had a mission. There was a lot of them. They knew where they wanted to camp, and they knew where they wanted to set up their buffets and stuff like that, and they weren't going to let anybody get in the way of it. And that's exactly what they did. I'm not stereotyping and saying that every single one of them is like one of these people. I'm sure some of them were very nice people. It's just I wish a little bit of common courtesy would have been afforded my way. So that's about it. And we got it's not discouraging me from going out and doing more camping and doing more adventures like that. If anything, this traction that I've gained from that reel has motivated me to keep that momentum going and keep advocating for people that suffer from anything that's racking the mind, stress, anxiety, postpartum, addiction, anxiety, you know, and what it's done for me, just getting outside and breathing in the fresh air. And I want to keep being that advocate. I want to keep being the person that shares my adventures and makes cool videos for my son to see someday when I'm long gone, that he can look back on. So I appreciate all your support. It sure would go a long way if you aren't a subscriber or a follower to do that. You can head over to our Patreon page as well and get trip updates as well as exact pinpoints as to where we're going. If you're a Patreon member or even a YouTube member, there's a join link down below. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.